So with that, now let's move into the realm of graphics and gaming. How many of you love Radeon? Yeah. We love Radeon. And what we say is Radeon is really everywhere. So if you think about it, today, there are over 400 million gamers that game on Radeon. Over 400 million. And when you look across the PC form factor, notebooks, Apple iMac, MacBook Pro products, when you look across the game consoles with Sony and Microsoft, and most recently, you saw Google announce that they're starting their cloud gaming technologies using AMD, you really get the sense that Radeon is everywhere. And one of the things I say, and I say very, very often, is AMD just loves gamers. Do you agree? 2019 has already been a very, very important year for Radeon. We started the year at CES launching the second generation Vega product in gaming called Radeon 7. This was the world's first 7-nanometer GPU, and it has incredible performance across gaming as well as compute workloads. And when you look at what we're doing in the data center with Radeon Instinct MI60 and MI50, we have a number of design wins and engagements that are looking at bringing Vega into all aspects of the data center. And what we see is tremendous momentum. So you're going to continue to see Vega, and you're going to continue to see Vega in these large, compute-intensive workstation workloads, and you'll hear a lot more about that over the next weeks and months. But I started with the idea of gamers are special. We believe there are over 2 billion gamers in the world, and that's including PCs, consoles, cloud, mobile, and gamers are incredibly demanding. Gaming is a very, very social sport, so you want to be able to share it with your friends. You want incredible control and responsiveness. You want performance in every form factor, and you want to be able to play your favorite games anywhere, anytime, any place, with the same ecosystem. To do that, you really need to build a GPU architecture that goes across PCs, consoles, and the cloud. And that's exactly what we set out to do. So, Navi is our new family of Radeon GPUs, and it is really built to power the future of gaming. And when you think about Navi, think about it's really the start of an incredible future in gaming going forward. So, let me tell you a little bit about Navi. Not many people know much about Navi. When you look at Navi, we believe that it can power a tremendous number of applications. Just last month, Sony announced the first application of Navi. They announced that their next generation PlayStation is going to be powered by AMD with our semi-custom portfolio using Navi as well as our Zen 2 products. And I can't tell you how excited we are to do that. When you think about the vision of Mark Cerny at Sony, he's really looking at revolutionizing the console era for the next decade. And we are very, very honored to be partnering with Sony in that area. Now, when I talk about Navi, I also talk about Navi as it relates to our PC products. And I want to tell you a little bit about what makes Navi so special. There are really a couple of things. First, Navi has an all-new 7-nanometer RDNA architecture, Radeon DNA. This is different from GCN, and I'm going to talk more about why it's different and what it does for us. Navi's also focused on gaming. Like I said, responsiveness, performance, and so faster clock speeds, higher gaming performance, lower power. And Navi is also the world's first gaming GPU that has PCI Express Gen 4 enabled. So let me tell you a little bit about RDNA. And again, we call this Radeon DNA, so the R has a red Radeon here. The way to think about it is AMD has had a long history of architectures in the GPU space. We love GCN. GCN has been a great architecture for us. And frankly, you're going to continue to see GCN as we go with new versions of Vega and many of the high compute workload applications. But you guys know how we thought about Zen in CPUs. When we designed Zen in CPUs, we decided it was time for from-scratch design, because we believed that you needed a new design for the future. And that's exactly what RDNA is. RDNA is a gaming engine, the architecture that will power the foundation of gaming for the next decade. So we're extremely excited about RDNA. Now, we have so much to talk about as it relates to RDNA. My friend David Wang is sitting right here in the front row. You can ask him all the questions. But let me give you a preview of what makes RDNA so special. RDNA is significant new capabilities. It's a brand new compute unit design. And the idea here is to optimize that compute unit for the future of gaming. And it's really focused on efficiency and increasing the number of instructions we could do per clock. We also have an all-new cache hierarchy, and that's all about making gaming more responsive, reducing the latency, getting higher bandwidth, getting lower power, doing more. And the third point is we streamlined the graphics engine. And this is really bringing the architecture together and optimizing for performance per clock, as well as higher clock speed. So when you put all that together, let me just give you a couple of numbers so you get an idea of how special RDNA is. When you look at the architectural improvements of RDNA in our first generation compared to our Vega gaming generation, what we see is 1.25x performance per clock. So the way to think about this is that's architectural efficiency. Every clock cycle, you get more performance because of those compute engines and how we've optimized the pipeline. And then when you put that together, both the architecture, the design capability, as well as the process technology, we're seeing 1.5x or higher performance per watt capability on the new Navi products as a result of RDNA. So now that you know about our new architecture, it's time to meet the Navi products. So today, for the first time at Computex, I want to introduce the Radeon RX 5000 family. And the RX 5000 family actually is named in honor of AMD's 50th birthday. So 50 is the year that we start the new architecture, RDNA. So let me introduce you to the first Navi GPU. Thank you, Scott. Seven-nanometer architecture, RDNA, RX 5000. And some of you may say, this chip actually looks pretty small. We like it small. It's small, but it has incredible performance in it. So you're going to see a lot of these Navi GPUs very, very soon. Now, with that, we also want to show you Navi in action. So Scott, come on back out here.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Scott. So Scott runs our Radeon Gaming business unit, and I think Scott has the most fun job in the company.
There's no doubt about it. I have the most fun job in the company. My kids always think that I just go to work and game, so I appreciate.
He actually does just go to work and game. All right, Scott, what are we going to show our fans here?
Yeah, hey, look, I'm super excited to show the world today Navi running for the very first time a real live gaming demo and benchmark. And on behalf of all the AMD engineers that have worked on the Navi product family, we are super excited to get this in the hands of gamers very, very soon. So behind me, you'll see that Chris over there has already started the benchmark running. This is Strange Brigade. It's running on 2 GPUs. On your left is the RTX 2070. And on the right on the screen is our brand new Radeon RX 5700 series GPUs. Strange Brigade is a co-op third-person shooter game. It's designed to play with your friends. You can fight minotaurs, fight some scorpions, also solve puzzles and blow stuff up, which is my favorite part. I love blowing stuff up. And then you can see as the benchmark comes to a close here, you'll see the scores right behind me shortly. This is what I'm extremely proud of our engineering team. You'll see that on average, the RX 5700 GPU beats our competition by roughly 10% performance in this very early edition of the game demo. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you.
Scott has too much fun playing games all the time, but Scott, our fans want to know, this is a Navi preview. This is a Navi preview. So our fans want to know, when can they get their hands on Navi?
Well, it's going to be very soon. So we will be launching everywhere in the world at retail and e-tail, available in July. And so I'm very excited for that. So maybe I'll also tell everybody, if you want to learn more about Navi, for all the gamers on the stream and here in the audience, you can come and either watch it on stream live, or if you're at the E3 trade show on June 10th, 3 p.m. Pacific, we will be talking about all the good details, including price points, performance, products, plural, and also all the new features inside of RDNA, all the technical features that we're putting into games, and excited to announce today some exclusive game content from our game partners up on stage with us, Lisa, to celebrate our Navi launch, and it's going to be a really fun time come June 10th.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Scott. See you at E3.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
So that's just a little bit of a preview of what you will have in store for you for Navi and our RDNA architecture. Now let's turn our attention to the PC market.